It is the season of madness in the country. Madness in our schools, children burning schools, madness on the political scene. God save us. It is sad and tragic that our children are destroying that which the country has put up at great cost. Parents have sacrificed everything they have to put up these schools. If our children put these schools to ashes, what exactly are we talking about? But as we discourage our children, as we tell our children, you gain nothing by doing that, as we warn our children that these things can haunt you, as government tells them, we will have your record. Yes, our children, be warned. Destruction never pays. However angry you are, there must be a better way of expressing the anger. But even as we do that, I want us Kenyans to spare a moment and look at what could be the possible causes. We do not support children. We will do everything to discourage children. But we must also look at ourselves. We must evaluate the situation and ask ourselves, as adults, have we done enough? I've argued repeatedly that one of the problems with our schools is administration, management. Our principals, they like to be called principals. During my days, they were headmasters and headmistresses. They are so high-handed. We have a management structure and system in this country where the moment you give an individual a responsibility, like a principal, they become a god. Both children and teachers fear the principal the way they would even fear God. We have created demigods. The principals have made education very expensive. If you don't want to believe me, take your child to Form 1 next year. Just look at the list you are given. Look at the things the principals put on those lists. And ask yourself, are they necessary? So in future, we might have to look at the administration of schools. The kind of leadership structures we will put in place. We'll also need to look at the boarding school system, which, unknown to many people, was put in place by the missionaries in this country. It's not a very universal and global thing. So that Kenyan children will be kept away from their pagan manners at home. They are protected from their own parents with their bad things and bad culture and all manner of bad things that distract them. We don't want anybody to keep away from our children. So we have to rethink this boarding. Government is also responsible. That we must have 100% transition at all costs. A school that should have 4 streams now has 7, 8 streams. And you blame what is happening without looking at yourself and asking yourself, Professor Magoha and government Uhuru Kenyatta, how much are you responsible for these things? Yes. Don't force things. Before you put facilities in place, why do you give principals children they can't handle? 100% is good, but you must have facilities. Now under the CBC, children are entering secondary school in 2023. How prepared is this country for that? We want to start another round of frustration and disappointment. Children should not ban schools. But we must find ways of addressing the issue. Where are the problems? Where are the challenges? To begin with the society. Some of the problems children are getting right from society. We have become a country without values. Where do you expect the children to get values when we don't have values ourselves? We have become a country where people worship money. Okay? We have become a country where nobody cares about good things. Again, this is also pay time. We are paying back. When our teachers negotiated for salaries and even registered a CBA sometimes back, we ignored. We went to court and we won because we controlled the courts. I said this, we will pay for this. We have pushed teachers into people like other workers, 8 to 5. Yes, teachers worked 24 hours. They slept dreaming the work. They carried work at home. They reported to school at 6 when the rest of us were still sleeping. But we have pushed them and we have told them, do your work. They touch a child, kababa, the kababa generation, kamama. We go to schools to warn our teachers. Touch my daughter and you'll see. And I'm not saying teachers should extend violence to children or abuse them or cane them. But I'm saying we have pushed teachers into saying, okay, if that's what society wants, fine. I know, for example, at the university, teachers at the university have been made to believe nobody cares. Students don't care whether you teach them or not. The university administration doesn't care. Government doesn't care because when you ask for some little salary, they show you they don't care. The country doesn't care. Society doesn't care. Nobody cares. That is the kind of society we have become. And honestly, we must be serious about this thing. Again, how much do we as a country value professionalism? So when children burn schools, we say we shall cane them. Parents will pay for this. Where are the experts? This is violence. We need to deal with the psychology of violence, the sociology of violence, the anthropology of violence, the politics of violence, the economics of violence, and there are experts in this field. So we have somebody in the ministry or two people sit down, come up with the decisions. No, the 21st century corona should have taught us that unless we begin to employ brains, unless we value our experts, unless we give knowledge its rightful place, we will perish as a society. So these are our children. We have to guide these children. We have to look at what is wrong as we admonish them. We must engage ourselves honestly. Education has gotten to a point in this country where we need to have an honest conversation. Government must facilitate an honest conversation about education. Let us never be in a hurry. Let's have an honest conversation about education in this country. Let us have, not this one where people go and form committees and draw allowances. No, an honest conversation facilitated by government, because government has the mandate. The Minister of Education has the constitutional mandate to facilitate this kind of conversation. Where are we going as a country? Do we give education any value? Big Four. The first one among the big four should have been education. Corona has come. You are squeezing children into a tight program. No games, no sports, no nothing, music, nothing, nothing extra. Even a breathing space, a valve, nothing. They will bolt inside there. Was that the best we could do? Couldn't the government, couldn't this country engage experts who would have told the Minister of Education there are better ways of making the children continue after Corona than trying to do everything at the same time? Who tells you if kids did the exam in Form 3 instead of Form 4, they will lose anything? If Class 8 did the exam after Class 7 and not 8, we all know. You look at the past papers. Look at the exams. Tell me what you lose if you cut off Form 4 and Class 8 as a contingency measure. So that those who are in class, those who get to class 7, they just do the exam. Those who go to class Form 4, Form 3, they do exam there. Instead of telling Form 3 students now to collapse Form 3 and Form 4 work in 1 year, you can't do that. These are human beings. Where are the experts? We must engage honestly as a country. That going forward, we must think about what we do. There is enough expertise in this country to avoid situations such as this. But even as we say that, as we ask government to know that you can handle Form 4 exam at Form 3, because Form 4 and Class 8 are revision. As we tell government that no university or college relies 100% on what children were taught in Form 4. Education is an experience, a level. That's why we are talking of O level, general level. Secondary school prepares somebody of a certain level. The university receives that person. So even if you cut Form 4, with a minor tweaking here and there, with minor calibration here and there, the students will sit for that exam and the universities will not even notice anything. Colleges will not even notice anything. But finally, our children, now that your parents are going to build these schools, let me tell you something. If you have a rich boy in that school, their parent will not pay. They talk to the principal. It is your poor parents who are going to build those schools. Just imagine, yes, they will sell your land, your cows, to go and build those schools. While the children of the rich are safe in the schools where they are, rich schools. A few of them who are with you, actually they will not pay that money. Because that rich boy who sits next to you, the father drinks in the evening with the principal. He will not pay. Your poor mother will pay for that money. And therefore, let's stop this madness. Stop the destruction. And the people will know that you are the people who did exams in this year. Even employers will be hesitant to employ your cohort. Ask those who did exams, I think 2008 or something like that, when there was mass destruction in schools. Employers become hesitant when they look at your certificate, when you graduated. They know these are the troublesome cohort. Don't destroy your future. Don't ever be physical as a means of expressing your anger. As we talk to your government and your parents and the Kenyans in general, to employ strategies that have worked in other countries to ensure that our schools are functional and our children are treated as human beings and not machines in which you can pump knowledge. I hope Professor Magoha and the entire government is listening and watching this.